Hey, hey, loves. Welcome back to Service with Love. Happy Thursday. As you can see, or you can't see if you're listening, but I have a very special guest with me today. It's my husband, Steven.
What's up, what's up, what's up?
He definitely begged me to be on the podcast.
You better calm down, girl. Ain't
Everyone-
nobody begged you.
Everyone's already booing you off.
Psych. What's up, though?
No, but for real, guys, thank you so much for those who had tuned in to our very first episode last week. The support was definitely appreciated. Thank you for coming back and listening or viewing on YouTube if you're watching on YouTube. So for starters, I want to just say if we sound a little stuffy, that's because we both kind of got hit with COVID. So you can thank maybe Steven for that.
No. You better calm down.
But
You got something in your teeth. I'm trying to help you out here. But all right. I mean, whatever you want to do.
it's my smoothie.
While she cleans her teeth, guys, I just want to say thank you for everybody who has listened to us. Whether you're in New Jersey or outside of Jersey, you guys are the real MVP. And also to all of our people outside of the country. Huge shout out to Japan, Puerto Rico, and who was the other?
Germany.
Germany as well. Shout out to you guys. You guys are the real MVP, and I appreciate you guys. All I ask is that if you guys can, please subscribe and like our YouTube channel. That definitely helps us out, and we definitely want to continue to push out as much content as possible.
Absolutely. And if you're listening, definitely download the episode, like it, and leave a review because it definitely helps me out, kind of just seeing where the focus is as far as the topic, if you're interested or not. So enough with the boring stuff. We're going to jump right into it. Today's topic is going to be marriage versus dating. A lot of you guys voted on this topic on my Instagram, so I definitely wanted to give that back to you. So we're going to just jump right into it.
Shoot.
All right. So, Stephen, I have a couple of questions that a lot of my Instagram people, as well as people in general, are always asking me about. And I think the first question that I get asked for so long, it's probably been like a year and a half already, is how do you feel about me being a police officer?
So I personally think it's beautiful. I think it's hot. So this goes to say to anybody who has a dream. Desiree, my wife, she's been having this dream for years, and this is something that she's been wanting to do since she was a kid. So when we first met, she actually told me about it. I personally thought it was amazing. I was like, all right, cool. She got a dream. She wants to follow it. Go out and get it, girl. Do what you got to do. I'm not going to be your stopping ground. I'm going to support you 100%. I don't care whatever you want to do in life, I'm going to support you because that's what I'm supposed to do. To all my other people out there who are struggling to do things that are a little bit nervous or scared, don't let people or like anybody try to turn you away from your dream. I mean, go out and do it. Do your homework, do your research, but definitely go out and chase your dream, and anything is possible. As long as you put the work into it, it's definitely possible. But like I said, if you becoming a cop, I thought was awesome. It was amazing.
So you supported the idea the whole time?
100%. I would never tell you not to do anything you don't want to do.
No, you're right. He's looking at me like, what do you mean? No, yeah, just to piggyback off of what he said, like he said earlier, it's one of those things where when we first started dating, I definitely advised him that that was something I was looking for in my future. And if he wanted a future with me, he had to know that I wasn't going to budge on this. This wasn't going to be a compromise at all. It was either you supported my dream or it is what it is kind of thing.
As it should be.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing for you, too. I would support any dream that you have.
Right. I mean, you did it. You definitely, you came in my little journey when I was in the military, so you definitely did it.
Yeah, I supported all 4 years.
Yeah.
It was definitely a journey, to say the most.
Yeah.
So I guess we can move on to the second question, which is, what have you learned about a relationship since getting married?
Um, whew. See, this one's a little tricky because being married is it's kind of the same thing as being in a relationship. It's just, it's a little bit more patience that you got to have with the person. It's your partner in the end of the day. So you got to kind of sit back and realize that, your partner and you don't always see eye to eye. So you got to really, jump on the little bandwagon that you guys have, and you guys got to agree to certain things that you don't want to normally agree to. So to me, I don't think it's too dramatic of a change. Just it's a little bit more patience that you need to have when you're in a marriage. It's definitely 100%.
So you've learned patience.
Yes,
That's your takeaway from
Yes. What am I supposed to give you something else?
No.
Oh, shoot.
Can you stop with that button? You're about to
I'm just saying.
No, I'm just saying. So you've learned throughout your the whole relationship that patience is key for you.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I just want to make sure that everyone else kind of sees
100%. I mean, when it comes to our marriage and relationship, that's what I could say.
I think for me, my takeaway through relationships and marriage was definitely communication. I had to learn more about communication because for me, I'm more of someone who kind of suppresses my feelings and doesn't really talk about things that I feel inside, or if I'm angry, I'll kind of let it bottle up until it's too late and then I explode. So communication was definitely my takeaway for.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you a round of applause for that one. I just want everybody to know, homegirl took forever to communicate, but we got there, people. We got there. All right.
Yeah, we
a
got
couple
there.
years later, we got there.
We're growing, guys. That's part of growing. Lastly, I was talking about comfort zones. Communication was definitely not my comfort zone, so I definitely broke out of that. I think.
Oh, you broke out of it, Thomas.
Thomas?
Was it Thomas? What was the turtle's name? It was Thomas, wasn't it? Or that was the choo-choo train. Ooh, Franklin the turtle, wasn't it Franklin? Man. I messed that one up, sorry.
Yeah, you fucked that up real bad.
It's all good.
Okay, so now the main question is, how is marriage different from dating?
So this is pretty much piggybacking from what I said earlier. It's not really different, people. It's honestly the same thing. I mean, if it changes you, if it changes you too much, then I don't know if you really did it for the right reason. You shouldn't get married unless that's the person that you want to be with 100%. You'll know. Trust me, people, you will know. If this person is meant for you, it's nonstop thinking about that person. You don't look at other people the same way. It's always, all right, this is the person I want to spend the rest of my life with. You shouldn't let people tell you what to do. Like I said before, if you want to get married to that person, get married to that person. There's always going to be people that tell you don't do it. There's always going to be people that tell you maybe this isn't the right choice. There's always going to be people trying to question your motives. Don't let them do that to you. The hardest part, honestly, of getting married was getting on my knee to ask Desiree to marry me in Disneyland. So it kind of, got me a little nervous and stuff like that. But
he wasn't used to being on his knees, guys.
Hey, yeah. You damn right. You know what?
That's where I'm going.
You going to jail.
You going to jail for that one. I ain't. But definitely, just don't be scared. That's what I would say. If you are thinking of proposing or getting married, man, go for it. We live in a crazy time right now. COVID's around. There's a lot of different people trying to, run us. Just do it, man. Don't be scared. If you want that new job, go get that job. If you want that dream vacation, go on that dream vacation. Just take the proper precautions to make sure that you are safe. But like I said, man, if you're going to get married, just do it. Don't let people tell you, man. You're good.
So marriage and dating are basically the same for you?
It's pretty much just a piece of jewelry on my hand at this point. I mean, because I don't really wear jewelry. So other than that, same exact thing, guys.
Yeah. I mean, my answer is basically the same. Marriage and dating are exactly the same. And you should always go into marriage thinking that this is still the person that you want to date. So you still have to make the effort, just the way that you got that person in the beginning. Go out on dates with them, go to the movies, go do something that you guys both enjoy. Take adventures, go on hikes, do exactly what you were doing dating while married, because you still need that effort. That's how your relationship is gonna last. And it's crazy because I was actually watching an episode of like a motivational speech that Chris Rock was giving, and he said that relationships really aren't hard. It's what others make it, right? So he used the analogy of, one person in a relationship trying is hard. But if you have two people in a relationship trying, it's like picking up a sofa. If you have one person picking up the sofa, it's going to be fucking hard, right? But if you have another pair of hands that are helping you, you're going to get to where you need to go with that sofa. It's the same thing with relationships. Two people need to take part in a relationship. That's the only way it works. And I saw that and I was like, wow, like that makes so much sense. So going off of that, basically is, in order for you to have a successful marriage, in order for you to have a successful relationship, you need to continue to work at it and be involved. Because the moment you stop trying, that's when your relationship starts to go downhill, guys. And in order for you to, have a happy marriage, you have to continue to try.
That's a fact. Happy spouse, happy house.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could definitely go off of that. Happy spouse, happy house.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Because if your wife ain't happy, your life's a mess, bro.
You're gonna do a happy spouse, happy house. we all in this together.
Okay, shut up. All right. So I wanted to bring up, how do you feel about finances in our relationship and marriage?
So to me, it's I look at it as you got your own bank account, I got my own bank account, and then we make a joint account at that point. I feel like you should have your own money, I should have my own money, but we have a joint account for any type of expenses, such as an emergency fund, any type of travel fund, whether your car needs to be fixed or something in the house, or if you need some groceries or something like that. But I'm a firm believer of your money's your money. I mean, you work for it, you go do it. I don't think one person should control the finances. I think that's a little bit too much, and it causes a lot of arguments that you don't need. I know for a fact that it definitely helped me and you out 100% having our own accounts. And then to go with it, like if you want to surprise somebody or anything like that, you definitely want to have your own account because you don't want them to see what you're buying. But I do think that big purchases or anything like that, that's something that you definitely should bring up to your partner. The last thing you want to do is argue over something that you shouldn't have bought, like that new Xbox.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And you pretty much nailed it, so I'm not even going to go into my thing because it's basically exactly what he just said. But do you think that the finances should be split in half, or the male pays more, or the female pays more? What's your perspective?
Nah, man, it's a 50-50 thing. It's 2021. I mean, we going to pay rent together. You work, I work. We going to do it together. That's it. We a team. So there's no I'm paying for everything, because what am I going to do? I'm broke. What if I want to go out? I can't go out. What am I supposed to do? Stay at home? Absolutely not. That's not. No, sir. No.
Oh, shoot.
No, sir.
Clearly, I should have married a rich man, guys. He can wine me. He can dine me.
Mm-hmm. You married the wrong one.
Clearly. No, yeah, I second that, though. I feel like we should definitely go 50-50 on bills. However, I know that there's going to be times where I'm going to have it and he's not going to have it, or vice versa. And at that point is when you come together and collectively you make sure that at the end of the day, we're both taken care of. So if I have to put in the whole rent this month, that's fine, because it's a partnership, and that's how marriage should always look like. It's a partnership, and you want to continue to make sure that your other person is taken care of at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much nailed it at that point. There is times where you might have to step up and, pay a little bit more than average. But in the end of the day, it is a partnership, like you said. I mean, as long as you guys are communicating and being honest with each other, it's going to be perfectly fine. And that definitely avoids a financial argument.
And I think finances is big in marriage. And even before you even think about marriage, you guys should definitely sit down and kind of just see where your finances are and what your perspective is for finance. If you know that one person's a saver and the other one's a spender, well, you know who's handling your expenses. So I'm definitely the saver in our relationship, and Steven's likes to splurge.
100% I spend.
So,
I will spend everything that I have, which is horrible. And I am aware of that.
Which is why I take care of everything as far as our finances.
I mean, I definitely, I started saving a lot more this year. I think after our wedding, that was the big key for me. When we saved up the money for the wedding, that was when I was like, all right, cool, I can actually do this and not spend a whole bunch of money. But it's really bad sometimes. Sometimes I get stuff I shouldn't be getting.
Yeah, I mean, we have our strong suits in certain things, and that's okay. And I think that's mainly why you need to sit down and actually communicate and figure out what person is good for what in the relationship. It's just how it is, We're made to work together, and you're going to be good at things, and I'm not going to be good at certain things. So, for example, finances, that's probably more of my strong suit. You're the tech guy, right? So when my phone's not working, I'm like, babe, fix it.
All right, I guess I'm AT&T now. Moving on to the next question. Wow, you just called me AT&T, bro. You know what, man?
God damn. Call an ambulance.
That's how I feel right now. I'm about to go home. I'm about to go in the ambulance.
All right.
Come on, man.
You're more of one where you just like, all right, Des, you know what? Let's sit down. Let's talk about our feelings. And I'm like, oh, shit, here we go.
Man, now you really trying to play me. Get out of here.
He's Mary Poppins, guys.
Man.
Yo, stop with the stupid thing.
You going to jail, bro, for that one. You know what? Go to the next question, guys. She's rude. She is terrible.
I'm not rude, guys. I'm honest.
So now that you could see a little bit of our relationship, I feel like every marriage should have their own little niche where it's me and Desiree, like we kind of sit down and like joke a lot, or like we make fun of each other, or we speak like crazy on each other sometimes. It's definitely helpful for us because it keeps us sane. You're living with the person, so sometimes you're going to be annoyed at the person. I feel like me and her avoid being annoyed with each other by, starting up these little joking contests or like little, like, you can't do this, you can't do that. It's like a competition in this house 24/7. It's horrible. I bring over new friends. She wants to have those friends. And then I'm like, what are you doing, bro? Get away. Those are my friends. Shout out to all the friends that we made this year, though. You guys are the real MVPs. I'm gonna give you guys a round of applause.
Okay, this is noted. He's no longer touching the buttons, guys. Anyways, one thing I did want to mention while we were still on the topic of like finances in general, with 50-50, a lot of people go into relationships and marriage because they assume that things have to be 50-50. And I wanted to touch on this because if you go into a relationship and marriage in general with that mindset, you're not going to do so well, because there's going to be times, more often than not, where your partner's going to have to give 80 and you're going to have to give 20, or you're going to have to give 90 and they're going to have to give 10%. And that's just the way life works, Like, for example, with us, I work midnights. So when I come home, I get home around like 8:30ish, or sometimes like 9:30, 10 after my gym. I'm exhausted. I take a shower and I go to sleep. I don't wake up until about 6 o'clock at night. When I wake up, Steven's cooking dinner. He's cleaned the house. He's walked the dog. Oh, God. He's making gestures, guys, for those who are listening.
Just keep it going.
Anyways, so he's doing all those things. And, at that time, I'm getting up for work, eating, and then quickly just running out at that point because I have to be at work by like 9:30ish. And those are those days where he's doing 90% and I've done 10%, if that. And my 10% at that moment is to go to work because I have to provide food for us. And then there's going to be days where I'm off and he's working and I have to clean and do the laundry or put the laundry away, and I'm doing 90% and he's doing 10. So there's going to be a balance, but you should never go into your relationship wanting 50% all the time, because you're never going to get it, guys. And that's just life.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it all comes with communication. As long as you communicate with your partner and you pretty much, you make a plan. At the end of the day, like I said, it's a partnership. You just got to communicate, develop a tactic, and come together as a group, and just pretty much just say, all right, this day you got this day I got this day I got this, and you just move on, so on and so forth. Make it a well-oiled machine, and you'll be set. I mean, it stops a lot of arguments and it stops a lot of frustration, but you are going to be frustrated sometimes. There's times where I look at Des and I'm like, man, get up and do these dishes, girl. But then I realize that she's working a crazy amount of hours. She'd be doing like 15-hour shifts sometimes. And I'm like, all right, if I did a 15-hour shift, I ain't doing them damn dishes either. So I'm going to bite the bullet this time, and I'll definitely do it for her. It's all compromise.
As you should. Relationship always comes with compromise. You're not going to always like or love what you're doing, but you do it because you love that person, and at the end of the day, you know that they'll do it for you. So,
yeah, I agree.
Yeah, that's pretty much, we covered that part.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I agree. That was a good one.
All right, let's see. There's so many questions we still have to answer.
I got one. How did it feel being married while I was in San Diego and you were in Jersey? How did that distance?
Well, honestly, I felt like, because so when we first started dating, we did the long distance relationship, so it was easier with me. I'm not gonna say it was easy, because in the beginning I was like, holy shit, why am I doing this? All my friends have their fucking boyfriend here, and they can do this and they can do that, and I'm just stuck here doing nothing. I can't be with the person I want to be with. And I think the main thing that helped me was, when we first started dating, I was in college. So I was working and going to college. So I barely had time to go out anyways. So that kept my mind busy. And then when we actually got married, I was then working 2 jobs. So I was working at the police department, and then I was also doing the doctor's office. And when I wasn't doing either or, I was kind of flying out to you. So it worked out. But for those who are suffering from like long distance relationship, it's doable as long as you're committed to that person. Don't get me wrong, there's gonna be obstacles in the way. We've overcame our obstacles. There's gonna be times where you feel lonely and you're gonna be like, this is not worth it, and it sucks. It fucking sucks. And you have to really not be a clingy person if you're going to be in a long distance relationship. And I think it worked out for me because I'm not a clingy person. I love my space. Like Steven and I, we still, like, we live together, but I'm like, all right, I got to see you in like 2 days, because I have to go and like hang out with my friends and then come back home and then go hang out with my friends again, because I just need me time. Not that I don't enjoy hanging out with him, but sometimes you just need separate hobbies away from your husband, and that's okay. So
No, I mean, I agree with you. I think that every relationship or marriage, you definitely need to have your own friends. I mean, your friends shouldn't be the same as their friends, because it just makes it more complicated when you want to go out or if you need space from your spouse or your partner. There's times where you need to just get away. I'll call up my best friend, or I'll call up a couple of my friends, and I'll be like, hey guys, like, let's go over here, let's go grab a beer. Or I'll call up my cousin. She's pretty much the one that does set me up to be going out to all these places. So, you just gotta make time for yourself as well. It can't always be about your partner. Sometimes you need to, branch off and do your own thing just for your sanity.
absolutely. So do you think moving in before marriage is something that you should do, or should it?
So this one's a little tricky, because I'm a firm believer of you should definitely move in with the person before you get married with them. I feel like for us, it was a little bit more complicated because we really didn't have that luxury, being that I was all the way in San Diego. Plus, I knew I already wanted to marry you, so it didn't really matter. I knew when I first met you, so it is what it is. But I do think that when you move in with somebody, you learn about them really, really quick, and you see like all their little dirty habits. You have a lot of dirty habits. I mean, it happens. I'm terrible with clothes. I would leave them in the basket all day. Desiree gets really frustrated with it. And Desiree is terrible with organizing stuff in the bathroom because my little corner turned into her corner and there's hair everywhere. So we definitely have our own thing, but it's just communication. Like I said, as long as you communicate and you tell them like, yo, you know what, this is a flaw. Let me work on it. Let me do what I got to do. You'll be fine. But you know, it's a little troublesome sometimes. So I think that you should move in with them at least for a month or so just to see how, you know, how everybody is, even a little longer, because a month sometimes people put up some shields and they be trying to hide. I think 6 months is a good little time frame. I think you start to get comfortable around that time when you live with somebody, and then you really see it and you're like, whoa, what's going on here?
Yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, if you have the luxury to move in before getting married, I know a lot of people frown upon it, especially Hispanics. We tend to be like, well, like my parents were like, oh, if you don't have a ring on your finger, you ain't going nowhere with a man. And I'm just like, no, it's 2021. I want to go and move in with a man to see how he lives, and if we can get along together, that's what I'm going to do, because I'd rather figure it out then that we're not good together than for me to get married and then live with him and then being like, fuck, he's a pig. I don't want to deal with this shit, you know? Like, at least for me, because I'm lucky. Steven's actually pretty clean. I mean, the only thing I said, like he said, is the clothes. He thinks that the clothes just gets up and folds itself when it doesn't. But other than that, he's good, I guess.
We all have our thing, people.
Absolutely.
We all have our thing.
No, yeah, for sure. So I think we should move on to I'll leave this as like the last question.
Yeah.
And this is a very important question. So I definitely want.
Shoot.
I definitely want to hear what you have to say to this.
Oh, hear and see. All right, cool.
Yes. Is it important to talk about your past relationships?
Are you talking prior to marriage or like when we get in a relationship?
Well, in a relationship, I'm assuming, because that's
I was gonna say, because when you go into a marriage,
when you're in marriage, you should know who the hell they are at that point.
See, so I know where you stand on this. All right, cool. I personally don't. I don't think you need to know everything about my past. I mean, there is some things that, you know, you definitely should bring if it's a traumatic experience that you had or something that could ruin your relationship. Like if you were hurt by something and you know that that is a trigger for you, and if that person does that for you, you're going to be triggered and you're going to react a certain way. That's something you should bring up to your partner at that point. You should definitely tell them like, hey, look, this happened to me. You know, I was this age, blah, blah, blah. You know, I'm just trying to avoid something, you know, really bad happening to me mentally. I think that you shouldn't want to know everything, because I think it's a little weird. Like if you're trying to figure out who was my 4th grade girlfriend or who was my 5th grade girlfriend,
I'm
like,
gonna find that bitch.
yeah, like that's a little weird. Like you shouldn't. I don't think you should ask your partner like, hey, like how many people did you end up sleeping with or anything like that. I think it's just a weird question to bring up, and it puts a bad taste into somebody's mouth. I think that, you know, we definitely didn't do that, and I'm happy about it. You know, we both have our past, and I think we handled that situation really well. But I don't think that your partner should definitely be asking you. That's a little weird.
Yeah, I don't think you should go into details like you said.
Yeah, as long as it's not a trigger, don't go into details. If it's a trigger, bring it up, just so your relationship stays healthy. Definitely bring it up and talk to them about it. Just communication is key, guys. That's it. Communication is key.
Yeah, absolutely. Just to piggyback off of that, I do agree. I think that it is important to talk about the past, what is need to be said. So if there is a relationship where you were physically or mentally, which is a lot of people don't know, you can get mentally abused in a relationship, and there's triggers. Like a trigger word might be like bitch. I know that's my trigger word. Like it is what it is, you know. You call me a bitch, we fighting. Like, and I'm not one to fight like that. But you call me a bitch, we're gonna get into a big ass argument and stuff like that. So, yeah, that's a triggering stuff. And like, there's things that, you know, throughout a relationship and any relationship that are gonna come up that your partner might not know is a trigger for you. And you have to let them know, because if they don't know, you can't hold them accountable for not knowing. So communication is everything, because if you don't communicate, then you're just assuming. And assumptions are just like assholes. We all have them, and assumptions are just really fucking bad, especially in relationships.
I mean, you pretty much hit it. I think that was perfect. Yeah, I mean, just communicate. That's it.
Pretty much, guys.
Key, guys.
So if you guys were looking for like this secret key, if marriage and dating is different, honestly, in my opinion, it's not. It's exactly the same. It should be the same.
Oh, hell no.
I think the only difference in a marriage and a dating relationship is that in marriage, you have a piece of paper that gives me his assets if he dies, or if I die, he gets my money.
That's a great way to put it. I mean, you just already wishing me to die.
Well, I'm broke, so if you're trying to kill
me. You guys heard it live on the podcast, so if you know this happens, it's not going to work.
No, guys. So if you want, do you have any concluding statements you would like to say before we
I mean, all I want to say is, thank you guys again for tuning in, for listening. All I ask is if you guys can share this to everybody. If you feel like it could help somebody, or if anybody has questions on marriage or anything like that, you could also email us. I'll put all that information into the video description as well. You could always go onto our website and click the email tab, and it takes you automatic to our website. Our website. I just said that twice. It takes you automatic to our email, and you can type whatever you want. If you want to be anonymous, you could just tell us, hey, I just want to be anonymous. One challenge that I do want to have for everybody is, if you guys have any questions that you want us to bring up in a podcast or anything like that, you can always email us and ask us that question, and we will definitely pick it. And like I said, if you want to be anonymous, we won't say anything. If you want to be known, we'll shout you guys out. We'll give out your Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, whatever account you want us to shout out for you. And we'll definitely help you grow your people as well as you guys helping us.
Yeah. So he basically said my closing arguments, so I'm not even going to say anything like that. But I did want to say thank you guys for tuning in today and allowing yourself to be serviced with love, as always. I did want to give you guys a sneak peek on next week's episode. I'm going to be talking about prioritizing you. So I'm going to make a questionnaire on my Instagram, as well as I'll probably do a question on my website where you can email us and just send us messages that you would like to be maybe like featured in our next episode. So definitely check that out, guys. Other than that, please subscribe. If you're listening on the podcasting platforms, please leave a review, rate it, and download our episode. And with that being said, guys, I hope you guys have a great Thursday, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.
Bye, guys.